Welcome into John Paul Jones Arena on the campus of the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's the site of tonight's big-time ACC college basketball matchup as the Syracuse Orange travel on the road to take on the number 8 ranked Virginia Cavaliers. A defensive battle both ways. It's Jim Boeheim, it's Tony Bennett, and we're underway here at John Paul Jones Arena. A quick push out for the Orange and a foul down low early. It looks like it goes offensively against Syracuse, and it's on Merrick Dolezaj. So we'll look at the starting five for both squads. First, Virginia, Kihei Clark at the 1, Reese Beekman the 2, Trey Murphy the 3rd, and then Sam Hauser the 4, Jay Huff, of course, at the 5. On the other side for Syracuse, it's Gerard Boeheim, Alan Griffin, Quincy Guerrier, and Merrick Dolezaj. So a turnover on both sides early as Virginia commits it that time, and now Syracuse back with the ball, and we're officially underway for basketball at John Paul Jones Arena. Quincy Guerrier, left baseline drive, a spin move, a fadeaway jumper is off the rim, no good. Rebound Huff up to Kihei Clark, who runs the point right now, wearing that number 0 for the Virginia Cavaliers, a junior guard, 5'9", not a big height advantage against anybody, but he's as quick as they come out of Woodland Hills, California, coming all the way coast to coast to play basketball for Tony Bennett. And I'll foul on the inside against Syracuse as well. Jim Boeheim not too happy. Syracuse coming off a massive victory over the Virginia Tech Hokies, who were ranked 16th in the country before the Orange took them down on Saturday, and a quick turnaround as they go ahead and travel to Virginia this time to take on Virginia Tech's rival, the Cavaliers. Three-pointer off the mark from the left side for Virginia. Trey Murphy III couldn't get it to go. Syracuse finally with a bucket, and it's 2 from Buddy Boeheim. So 2-0 your score now. And the first bucket comes just a minute and 10 seconds into the matchup. The Orange 2-0 over Virginia right now. Again, Virginia playing fantastic basketball coming into this game, 10-2 on the season, ranked first in the Atlantic Coast Conference. They have 10 wins, 2 losses, 6-0 in ACC conference play. And again, they're ranked 8th in the country. Out of bounds here, Tony Bennett pleading his case against the referee, but it was Kihei Clark along the baseline who had a foot too far to the left side. And now Syracuse takes it the other way. The Orange come in at 9-4. That's 3-3 in conference play. And this would be back-to-back wins against the top 25 team for Syracuse if they could get it. Buddy Boeheim, three-pointer from the top of the key, off the back rim and out. Rebound to the Cavaliers. And here they come up the court. Jay Huff at the top. Now moves himself back low. It's Kihei Clark, top of the key. Watch for Sam Hauser to get going as well for the Cavaliers on the left side. Clark over to Hauser on the left wing. Back to the top. Now it's Kihei Clark again. Inside to Huff. Huff a spin move, tightly guarded by Dolezaj. Can't find anywhere to go. Puts a shot up, off the mark, and that's sensational defense by Syracuse in the paint. There was Guerrier there, Dolezaj, and Alan Griffin. Now the Orange try and come and make this a 2-possession game. Boeheim with the ball, a left side drive. Able to kick it back out. Dolezaj lets a jumper go from the left elbow, and it's pure. Nothing but net. 4-0's the lead for the Syracuse Orange. 17.5 minutes to play here in the first half, and Dolezaj has his first points of the night. Had a great game against Virginia Tech just days ago. Kihei Clark, a jumper from the left side as well, and now the Cavaliers finally are on the board. Kihei Clark, that big puffy hair, it was not always like that in his young days at Virginia. Certainly, possibly let that thing grow during the pandemic quarantine for sure. But looking good as Kihei Clark for the Virginia Cavaliers, and a stop and a jumper there for Alan Griffin. As the Illinois transfer hits from the free throw line, middle of the court, Griffin now with his first points. He had 15 and 10 rebounds as well as 7 blocks against Virginia Tech on Saturday. Now the Orange up 6-2 with 16:44 remaining here in the first half of action. Hauser from the top of the key, deep 3, and he hits. Virginia with a response. It's a 3-pointer all the way from Blacksburg. Out of Sam Hauser from the top of the key, and I said he could be a massive threat for this Virginia squad. Leading in scoring for them, in fact, is Sam Hauser with 14.5 points per game, as well as shooting 51% from the field. Boeheim missed it all on that one, might have got tipped. And here comes Virginia with a chance to take the lead, whether it's a 2 or a 3. Kihei Clark, three-pointer left side, off the front rim, and out no good. Alan Griffin, a tough rebound, up to Joe Girard. Now it's right side. Guerrier lets a three-pointer fly. Right wing, rattled around, couldn't hit. And Sam Huff pulls down the rebound for Virginia. So both ends of the court, a missed three-point opportunity, both fairly open. Jumper here from the right elbow. This one's off the mark for the Cavaliers, but they're able to pull down the offensive rebound. Another three-pointer, and this time it's good. Both shots up by Trey Murphy III, missed the first, and the second one, he wasn't going to miss that one from downtown. 8-6 now the lead for the Virginia Cavaliers. They're on a 2-4 streak right now, shooting from three. Syracuse has opened over from downtown to the ball game so far. Gary on the left side, trying to go up on Hauser, hesitates, lets a floater go, off the front rim, no good. Huff the rebound. And Virginia taking it up the court. It's Reese Beckman with possession of it. Over to Hauser. Now inside Kihei Clark, a floater and an alley-oop inside. It's Huff who slams it home, no problem. And Virginia extends this to a 4-point lead over Syracuse. He's averaging 16.5 points a game in the last 4 games for the Virginia Cavaliers. Lead 10-6 by 4 for Virginia, the 8th-ranked team in the country. The Orange looking for a response here. It's Girard top of the key, tightly guarded by Kihei Clark, and that vaunted defense out of Tony Bennett. Again, this is a defensive battle. Deep three, Alan Griffin, left wing, off the front rim, no good. Had to put it up. It was a little late in the shot clock. Would have liked to look for a better shot of your Jim Boeheim in Syracuse. That was a deep one. Kihei Clark a drive, kicks out. Hauser top of the three, and no good. Off the mark, rebounded here by Alan Griffin. And it remains 10-6, the lead for Virginia. Girard a deep three way early in the shot clock and almost missed it all. Left it way short. And rebound for Reese Beckman. Here comes Virginia. Unnecessary out of Joe Girard that time, to say the least. Kickball violation on Girard as well, as he gets in the way of Sam Hauser's pass to the inside, and that'll be our first break of the night. Syracuse trailing to Virginia right now, 10-6. And the offense is really unable to find that lid off the rim just yet. Not any consistency out of either squad so far tonight. And that's the first break of the night. So that's our first opportunity to tell you, go ahead to accessoryspot.com. That's XESSORYSPOT.com. Pick up your very own Orange Heat with Giovanni Heater t-shirt on there. That's accessoryspot.com. XESSORYSPOT.com. You can also go ahead and leave a comment down below, and we'll go ahead and we'll talk about anything you want to bring up during the breaks. DJ has our first one of the night. Got to get inside. Couldn't agree with you more if you're Syracuse, but that's what Virginia has. They have that vaunted baseline defense, and they won't let you get inside. That's what Tony Bennett's goal is. Much like the zone, you want to force the difficult shot, that three-point shot. Of course, you got to get out at it. Virginia's done a good job of doing so. Syracuse hasn't been able to hit, but it's early in the ball game. Virginia with a 10-6 lead over the Orange. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. As well as welcome back here on Orange Sheet. Giovanni Heater with you, your play-by-play commentator for the night. Thanks so much for being here. Missing my broadcast partner tonight, in Kyle Marshak. Had to work, of course, and you just obviously that's the situation, and you got to tip your hat to him. A big-time working man. Sometimes he's busy, so that's okay. We miss him tonight for sure, and we're wishing him well over at the pizza shop, to say the least. So missing Marshak, but that's okay because we have a fantastic game tonight. Syracuse, an opportunity to beat 2 ranked teams 2 games in a row. And you could really make the argument that, Virginia Tech and Virginia, they play for what's called the Commonwealth Cup, because the Commonwealth of Virginia. And if the Orange could beat both of them in back-to-back matchups, you can make the argument the Orange should hold the Commonwealth Cup right up here in upstate New York. Virginia won the national championship back in 2019, and they're returning to that success. Struggled a little bit last year, And then the season didn't necessarily end the way anybody expected it to. Halted the ACC tournament dead in its tracks. But what Tony Bennett has done at Virginia is nothing less of sensational. He has mounted himself as one of the best college basketball coaches to ever do it. So Tony Bennett, one of the greats of the new era, Jim Boeheim, one of the longtime greats, and two of them going at it, two defensive-minded coaches with two defensive schemes. It's always fun when these two teams go at it. It's always low scoring. It's always a defensive battle, and really Virginia has had Syracuse's number in the history of this ball game since Syracuse has joined the Atlantic Coast Conference. But we're back to basketball at John Paul Jones Arena here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Lob to the inside again. Kihei Clark to Huff, and he slams it home. Jay Huff's not going to miss that one. He's a big man, 7'1", 240 pounds down low out of Durham, North Carolina. And I don't know if Syracuse has a guy that can play with him, plain and simple. Buddy Boeheim, deep three from the right wing, rattle around, no good. Rebounded here by Reese Beckman up to Kihei Clark, taking it down the floor. Trey Murphy III now with it. Up to Hauser, top of the key. Some new faces in now for the Virginia Cavaliers. Casey Morsell in the ballgame, wearing number 13. Hauser, a two-pointer from the elbow off the mark, couldn't get it to go. Rebounded Dolezaj. Syracuse was 3 for 5 starting the game from field goal, and now they are 0 for 6. Virginia has been playing well. They doubled up Syracuse, having a 12-6 lead. 13 minutes to go. Alan Griffin, a little bit of a tiffy, gets it out to Boeheim, three-pointer top of the key, and off the mark again. The struggles continue for Mr. Buddy Boeheim as he couldn't get hot against Virginia Tech. Neither could Buddy Boeheim. Drive to the inside and another dunk here for the Cavaliers. A big one. Jim Boeheim wants a timeout. And the Cavaliers and Tony Bennett got to be happy with the way that they've started this ball game. It's 14-6 here in Charlottesville, Virginia, and it's all the Who's. Another lob that time for Kihei Clark. This time it was to Trey Murphy III. And Kihei Clark, what a facilitator he truly is for this offense. Syracuse and Virginia went at it twice last season. The Orange lost to Virginia in the first game of the season. The ACC was trying something new out with the launch of the ACC network. They played at the Dome in game number 1 of the season in way early. I mean, you're talking October, late October, early November. It was a loss for Syracuse, only scored 34 points in that ball game. The offense proved to get better as the season went on, and it proved that maybe you don't start the season with a tough conference matchup. And then they went on the road to play right here at John Paul Jones Arena. Later on that season, Buddy Boeheim lit it up. The Orange won by 18 in overtime. And that's the moment everyone remembers where Boeheim hit one all the way from half court late in the shot clock. Kadary Richmond now in the game for Syracuse. Alan Griffin dish to the inside. Dolezaj at 2. Can't get it to fall. Missed the layup entirely. Kihei Clark stretching the court. Look at the speed out of Kihei Clark for the Cavaliers. And they settle things down as Syracuse gets back defensively. The Orange have missed their last 8 field goals. Virginia on a 14-2 run here. A pump fake, drive to the inside, and good defense on Richmond to just poke this ball away from Casey Morsell's pass that was intended for Sam Hauser that was waiting at the top of the key. And Clark has really taken over the ball game for Virginia. It's very, very early, but we are cold from long range is Syracuse, and clearly cold inside as Dolezaj missed a wide open layup. And Kihei Clark facilitating this offense is nothing short of electric right now. Three-pointer right side for the Who's. That one's off the mark. Guerrier able to pull down the rebound a little bit. Also gets fouled by Jay Huff. So Syracuse will get at the other end. And that's good news if you're the Orange because he's a big problem down low for Syracuse here tonight. And if they can get him in early foul trouble, that could be a big key to the game. Tony Bennett wants to talk things over a little bit here as Syracuse will get the possession when they return. Again, go ahead and head over to accessoryspot.com. That's XESSORYSPOT.com and pick up your very own Orange Heat with Giovanni Heater t-shirt. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support as always. The Orange coming off a huge victory against Virginia Tech, who were ranked 16th in the country on Saturday afternoon inside the Dome. Won that game by 18 points, led by 23 with 5 minutes to go. Nothing short of electric. And it wasn't even the offense that did it for Syracuse. It was how well they played defensively. And then offensively, they were able to get production in the paint. They struggled to shoot the three, but they didn't need to. They got the ball inside, something that Syracuse hasn't really done all year, and played fantastic basketball, to say the least. Took down Mike Young's squad, held Keve Aluma in complete check down low. Only 2 points in that game, and he's one of the best big men, if not in the ACC, in college basketball as a whole. I've watched a lot of Virginia Tech basketball this year, and Syracuse really took full notch of that game over Virginia Tech. Just took over, led it the entire way, and now a big opportunity, but you can't lay an egg on the road against the Virginia Cavaliers. DJ, another comment here. Thoughts on the Super Bowl matchup? Yeah, I want to focus on Cuse tonight, but for sure, it was tough to see my Bills go down, to say the least, but man, Kansas City looks really, really good. Really good. And I hate to see it, to be quite honest with you. Again, a Bills fan, it was tough to watch last night at times, but proud of what the Bills were able to accomplish nonetheless. Nothing short of historic. They have their franchise quarterback. They have their coach. They have the pieces in place. Need to make some additions and adjustments this offseason, and the Bills will be right back. But the Chiefs look dominant. And then the Bucs taking down the Green Bay Packers. I called that. I called the Bucs going to the Super Bowl all the way at the beginning, and they looked real, real clean as well. And it's not even offensively is how impressive they are. It's what they do on defense. I mean, they are the only team to really hinder Aaron Rodgers at all this year. 50% of his interceptions, he threw 5 the entire MVP season that he had. He threw 6 the entire year. It was 5 going into yesterday. And 3 of those 6 were against the Tampa Bay Bucs. 2 of them in week 6 and 1 of them in the NFC Championship game. So what their defense has been able to do against 2 really stout offenses in the Saints and the Packers is nothing short of exceptional. It's going to be one great Super Bowl. It's the greatest of this era, this new flourishing era in Patrick Mahomes, and then the GOAT of the previous era who continues to impress in Tom Brady. Tom Brady going to his 10th. I mean, just absolutely sensational what Tom Brady has done. He's the GOAT. There's no debating it. He is the greatest to ever play the game of football in the National Football League. You will never convince me otherwise. Back to basketball we go in John Paul Jones Arena here, Charlottesville, Virginia, the site of tonight's ACC matchup. It's the Orange and the number 8 ranked Virginia Cavaliers, also known as the Wahoos. Buddy Boeheim, a nice spin move and a floater from that left elbow, got it to fall. Boeheim's got 4 points tonight. He's 2 for 6 from the field. But Syracuse desperately needed a bucket there. 14-8's your score, 11.5 to play here in the first half. Hauser, top of the key, gives it off to the left side. It's Reese Beckman now with it. Now back to the right. Now Hauser, a 3 from the left corner. This one off the front rim, no good. Dolezaj pulls down the rebound up to Kaderi Richmond. Now Boeheim left side. Boeheim tightly guarded here by Beckman. Back to Dolezaj, top of the key. Over to Alan Griffin right side. Griffin trying to get a drive. A crossover, a spin move, jumper from the left side. Got that one tipped away. Great defense, suffocating out of Tony Bennett right now and this Virginia squad. And they are able to come away with the turnover. Ball hit the deck. Everyone, bodies flying around. And nonetheless, out of the scrum come the Wahoos with it. 14-8 remains your score. 10:48 to go. And shot selection has been pretty difficult, to say the least, for Syracuse, and an over and back violation as a errant pass goes wide of Kihei Clark from Sam Hauser. That's the 3rd turnover of the night for the Virginia Cavaliers. That means the Orange get the ball back here. 14-8's the score. 10:41 now on the clock in the first half. Boeheim to inbound over to Kaderi Richmond, who's going to run the point right now. No Joe Girard in the game. It's Richmond, Boeheim, Alan Griffin, Guerrier, and Dolezaj as Richmond lost control of it, and now coming down the court are the Wahoos, and this layup is up and good. It's Reese Beckman. The lead now doubles up again, 16-8 over Syracuse. Boeheim a drive right side, puts up a floater, tough bucket from Buddy Buckets. 16-10 the score here, and Boeheim is the only answer offensively for Syracuse, quite frankly. 6 points so far. He's 3 for 7 from the field. 16-10's your score with 10 minutes left to go here in the first half. Sam Hauser right side up to Kihei Clark, top of the key. Now it's back to the left side. Hauser on the inside. Boeheim got a hand on it and stole it away. Here comes Syracuse. Boeheim slowing things down a little bit. Tightly guarded by Sam Hauser. A dish off to the inside. Alan Griffin. Griffin trying to get one to go. The and one bucket foul. Good. Syracuse biting back at the Wahoo. 16-12 is your score, and Alan Griffin gets a chance to make a 3-point play from the charity stripe. It's the first trip for either squad so far tonight. Good battling down low, great feed from Buddy Boeheim, and Alan Griffin misses it wide and couldn't hit. So 16-12 remain the score, and it remains a 2-possession ball game. Richmond tips it away from Hauser. He's so good at doing that. Hauser able to recover, but that's fantastic defense out of the young freshman. Now, Virginia looking for their first bucket in a couple of minutes here. They've gone on a little bit of a dry spell. Sam Hauser left side. The defense for Syracuse has much improved. Wide open 3 right wing. This one is nothing but net for the Wahoos. Trey Murphy III, junior guard, standing at 6'9", 206 out of Durham, North Carolina. Very rare you see a 6'9" guard. Absolutely sensational, and that's what they offer defensively on that end of the court. Boeheim crossover, gets a screen from Dolezaj, 3-pointer top of the key off the back rim and out. Kihei Clark the rebound, and here comes Virginia pushing the tempo offensively. Pump fake. The third able to not get it to go, and here we go for Syracuse. A rebound here. Trey Murphy missed it all the way, and Boeheim has it for the Orange. Spin move from that ACC logo. Great defense from Sam Hauser. Alan Griffin, pump fake, lets one fly off the front rim. No good. Rebounded here by Reese Beckman. And here comes Virginia. 19-12 is your score. 8.5 to play. And Sam Hauser has it at the top of the key for the Wahoos. Over to Beckman on the right side. Now Kihei Clark. Beckman again. Kadary Richmond gets a hand on that one. Guerrier pull it away. And that's a great another steal right there for the freshman in Kadary Richmond. Dolezaj a drive, a Euro step, and he gets it to fall. The Slovakian hammer with a big finesse move there. 19-14 is your score. Under 8 minutes to play in Charlottesville, Virginia, and the Orange with a couple of responses here to this vaunted defense that Virginia is so well known for having. A miss on the inside. No fouls are called. Buddy Boeheim with it on the right wing for Syracuse. A pass to the interior. Dolezaj wasn't as open as Boeheim initially thought. And here's Kihei Clark. Sam Hauser, left wing 3-pointer. Good. And Virginia now extending the lead again. Sam Hauser, 6 points. He's 2 for 4 from 3-point land. He's got 22 now for the Wahoos. 22-14 is the lead for Virginia, the 8th-ranked team in the country. Another man down low right now, a redshirt sophomore center standing at 7 foot. He's also 250 pounds from Santa Fe, Argentina. And Francisco Cafaro playing down low for the Wahoos in the ball game. Guerrier, a deep 2, step back, got that one to fall. Quincy Guerrier really developing what he's able to do offensively for this Syracuse squad. He was good last year, but he did not have that jump shot last year around. Sam Hauser, 3-pointer, right side, and it's nothing but net. Sam Hauser is electric right now. 3 for 5 from 3, has 3 points tonight. Jay Huff remains on the bench for Virginia. Expect him to come in again soon. A little bit of foul trouble. The Orange are 0 for 7 from 3. Virginia's 5 for 10. Alan Griffin a drive, kick out. Deep 2 for Dolezaj, and he hits. Marek Dolezaj developing that shot as well. 6 points, 3 for 4 from the field, and a good performance in both games against these Virginia squads, against Virginia Tech on Saturday and now against the Cavaliers early. 25-18 is your score, 6 minutes left to play. Kick to the inside. Now it's back out to Hauser, deep 3 again, and this one off the front rim and out. I think the building would have exploded at John Paul Jones Arena if he was able to get that to go, but it's a putback and an and one for Cafaro down low out of Argentina. And it's an and one opportunity when we return. 6:06 on the clock. Virginia leads at 27-18. A chance to make it a 10-point ball game after the timeout. And it's getting dismal here for Syracuse offensively. Unable to hit from downtown, 0 for 7. And missing some open shots down low as well. Luckily, some deep 2s have fallen for both Guerrier and Marek Dolezaj to keep them within 9. We're right here on Orange Sheet. It's the Orange and the Cavaliers. It's ACC basketball. And it's right here on Orange Sheet. We'll take a quick 30-second break. We'll be back. Don't you go anywhere, as plenty more coverage between the Orange and the Wahoos coming up. Welcome back here on Orange Heat. Giovanni Heater with you, your play-by-play commentator for the night. And we bring you this game from Charlottesville, Virginia, John Paul Jones Arena. And it's not a spot that Syracuse has fared well historically. UVA has been that one team, as well as North Carolina, you could say, that's really had Syracuse's number since joining the Atlantic Coast Conference. They've been able to beat Duke. They've been able to beat Wake Forest and Virginia Tech, and they've been able to beat Clemson and Miami, and they've even been able to beat Louisville and Florida State. The two teams that have really had Syracuse's number are both North Carolina and the Virginia Cavaliers. And the Orange have had great wins against the Virginia Cavaliers. They beat them as a 10 seed against a 1 seed in the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament. They beat them last year in overtime right here in Charlottesville. But historically, Virginia leads the matchup since Syracuse has joined the ACC by a significant amount. Quick question here from Hal in the comments. And why do you think that they never follow their shots? And, you know, it's tough. Just kind of the way Boeheim coaches, maybe that's something that is coached. You know, you get back defensively. They want to set up that zone as quickly as possible because the last thing you want to do, especially against Virginia, the way that they push the tempo is give up fast break transition points. It takes a second to get back and set up into the zone considering it's not a man defense and you're not following a man. I think that's a large part of it as to why they don't follow their shots. They kind of leave it to that one guy on the inside. If he's not able to get there, you just get back defensively, live to fight another day. I think that's probably the philosophy behind that. You want to get back and you want to get set in the 2-3 zone. And speaking of the zone, a defensive battle here tonight. Both teams very, very well known for their defenses. Syracuse, of course, the phenomenal 2-3 zone, which some people call for, you know, to pull out of it a little bit and go into a man. But nonetheless, Tony Bennett on the other side has himself a fantastic zone as well. And Virginia has been incredibly successful in their use of it, both against Syracuse and both against a lot of teams. Not a team that can score in bunches, not every year anyways. And the one year they could was in 2019 when they were champs. This year they're getting better at it. Last year they struggled to score. But no matter what, Virginia always is known to have a great defense. Free throw miss here, and Syracuse takes it the other way. 27-18 is your score, 5:55 left, and Kadary Richmond walked with it. And that's a freshman mistake. He doesn't make many, but he made one that time. Virginia gets the ball back here, and a bucket would make it a double-digit ball game. Now the Wahoos with it on the other end of the court. Tony Bennett trying to draw something up in the timeout, I am sure, to get things going offensively. Virginia has not necessarily been stagnant, but they haven't hit them all. Sam Hauser, deep three from the right wing, and he cashes that one in. He wanted three, and the phone call was answered. 12 points, 4 for 7 from downtown for Sam Hauser, and Syracuse has left him wide open all night. They do not have a response to that. Syracuse 0 for 7 from 3. Virginia now 6 for 12, and it's a 30-18 ball game. This thing's getting out of hand quickly if you're Syracuse. Gerard on the left side with it. Now to Alan Griffin. Griffin a deep three, and he hits. Alan Griffin with a big-time three-pointer that Syracuse so desperately needed there. And now your score's 30-21, back to a 9-point ball game at John Paul Jones Arena with under 5 minutes to play here in the first half of action. It's been all UVA so far. And they'll call a travel against Virginia that time. They'll get the walk against Casey Morsell, a sophomore guard, 6'3", 196-pounder out of Fort Washington, Maryland. So around the Virginia area a little bit, in that mid-south area around Washington, D.C. And they'll get him for a walk. So Syracuse is able to get a break here. Alan Griffin, another deep three, rolled around Guerrier. Fantastic rebound off the glass, rolls in. Big bucket for the Orange. And the score is 30-23 now. Syracuse clawing back. It's a 4-point swing in favor of Syracuse. Guerrier's got 4 points and 4 rebounds to match it on his way to a possible, again, double-double for Syracuse. 4:14 left to go on the clock. You have yourself a 7-point ball game if you're tuning in. Virginia now moving the ball well, and Sam Hauser has been nothing short of electric. Three-pointer here, right side, off the mark. Off the hands of Hauser it goes, going for the rebound. Guerrier was in the area as well. and the Orange will get this possession back. It's a defensive stop that Syracuse certainly needed. Kihei Clark checking back into the game. Morcell will take a seat on the bench, and the three-pointer that was off the mark was from Trey Murphy III. Now the Orange started 4 for 5 from the field. Now they're 7 for 10 since then. Down 7 here in Charlottesville. Would love a bucket on this possession. Boeheim on the right side, a drive. Looking for that spin. It's not there. Try to get it into Dolezaj, and it's knocked away by Jay Huff. Kihei Clark dribbles behind his back, middle of the court, pulls up ACC logo off the rim. Didn't get it to fall, but Kihei Clark is speedy and quick for the Cavaliers, running the point guard position back into the big ball game now as well as Jay Huff. Alan Griffin with it for Syracuse. Thought about a shot. Now it's into Guerrier. Baseline drive on Sam Hauser. Elbowing his way in off the mark. Another offensive rebound. Alan Griffin kicks it out. Boeheim 3 from the corner, and he got it. Buddy Boeheim from downtown, and this thing's a 4-point ball game. Boeheim's got 9. He's 1 for 5 from the three-point arc tonight, but couldn't have come at a better time if you're Syracuse with his first. 30-26, 4-point ball game. Syracuse trailing the number 8 ranked team in the country. Jay Huff lets one fly from the free throw line and nothing but net for the big man. He's going to play games in the National Basketball Association. I'll tell you that right now. He's got himself a couple of points so far tonight. Alan Griffin, step back three-pointer, left it short off the front rim. No good. Unnecessary if you're Alan Griffin early on in the shot clock. He's a point getter, but sometimes him and Girard just let him fly way too early. Hauser at the top of the key. Kihei Clark, a drive from the right wing, kicks it out. Three-pointer from the corner is off the mark, no good. Alan Griffin stretches out for a rebound. Thomas was unable to hit, and now Syracuse thought they had a foul call there. Everyone kind of stopped and looked for a second. Not the case. Girard on the right side, a drive, and he is fouled, this time on the court by Sam Hauser. That's his second and a TV timeout we will get here on the floor. Syracuse back into this ballgame. It's a 32-26 advantage right now for the Wahoos. And Quincy Guerrier putting the team on his back with a big bucket on the inside. But then it's Buddy Boeheim with a three-pointer from downtown. A good game here at John Paul Jones Arena. We'll take a 30-second timeout right here on Orange Heat. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's the Orange and the Wahoos. It's ACC basketball, and it's right here on Orange Heat. Welcome back here on Orange Heat. Giovanni Heater with you as always, your play-by-play commentator for the night. We bring you the game from John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia, where the Syracuse Orange face their second-ranked team in a row from the state of Virginia, might I add. Took down the Virginia Tech Hokies inside the Dome, who were ranked 16th in the nation in the AP poll on Saturday. Now Virginia moved up from 13 to 8 today as the polls came out. And Syracuse has a matchup against the Cavaliers. And for those that don't know, I will reference them as the Wahoos time in and time out. I went to a football game at Virginia a couple of years back where the Orange took on the Virginia Cavaliers, and it's very common for them to be called the Wahoos. Their fan base calls them the Wahoos, and it's a pretty well-known fact, but if there is any confusion, I will consistently most likely reference to them as the Virginia Wahoos, because that is one of their nicknames for the Cavaliers. So, and funny, it has nothing to do with Cavaliers either. Completely two separate names as well. So Virginia and Syracuse going at it. Syracuse trailed early by as many as 11, and they've been able to claw their way back. Now your score 32-26. So Syracuse trailing by just 6, and it was off the heels of a big three-pointer from none other than Buddy Boeheim from downtown, a kick out from Alan Griffin off of a Guerrier miss, and Syracuse needed it bad. It's worth mentioning that checking into the game for the Wahoos recently was Thomas Woldetense down low, a senior guard, 6'5", 197 pounds, out of Italy. So this is a team that really has a lot of guys from overseas on this squad. Syracuse has 2, Jesse Edwards from the Netherlands, and of course, Marek Dolezaj from Slovakia. And Virginia has a handful as well. They also have a lot of guys from the local area. I shouldn't say local, but Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, that middle south region of the country, to say the least. So the Orange and the Wahoos just approaching halftime here after the timeout, and Syracuse needs a response here. Virginia's had some big buckets, and they've really been depending on Sam Hauser from downtown. He's been electric tonight for Virginia. And back to basketball we go. 2:02 left on the clock. 32-26 is your score. Inbound to Guerrier down low. Guerrier puts a tough shot up. No good. And Jay Huff's there to pull down the rebound for Virginia. Boeheim gave him a fight, but when you're 7'1", and weigh 250 pounds, it's tough to give that a fight. So Syracuse continues to trail by 6, 1:45 left to go on the clock here. Hauser with it at the top of the key. Over to Reese Beekman on the side. Back to Hauser left wing. Hauser gets it inside to Kihei Clark. Kick out. Right wing three-pointer. That one's off the back rim. No good. Kihei Clark comes in for the offensive rebound. And he tried to get it to the outside to get another chance at it for Trey Murphy III, but they settle things down and have a fresh 20, now down to 12. Dish to the inside. Can't get the layup to fall. Huff couldn't pull down the rebound. Instead, it's Guerrier, and now Syracuse with a good stop defensively. Here's Girard to drive. Kicks it up to Dolezaj. Now it's Boeheim top of the key. Tightly guarded by Beekman. Boeheim a spin move. Try to get a pass to the inside. Dolezaj off the mark and will head the other way. Last touch by Marek Dolezaj. Out of bounds it goes. And the defense for Virginia is nothing short of suffocating right now. Syracuse still in this game, trailing by 6, but Boeheim so good at that drive and that spin move, and Beekman was not letting him have any of it. Tony Bennett coaches up a phenomenal zone defense, and you're seeing it right now out of the Virginia Cavaliers. Kihei Clark a drive. Kicks it up to the top, Beekman. Sam Hauser, three-pointer right wing, and he got it. Hauser is phenomenal for Virginia right now. 5 for 8 from 3. 15 points so far in the first half. We're under 30 seconds to play, and the Orange trail Virginia by 9 now. 35-26 is your score after the Sam Hauser three-pointer, and he cannot miss. Girard running the point for Syracuse. Now it's Dolezaj on the left wing. Dolezaj a drive on Jay Huff, a spin move, just trying to get something up. Falls away from it, gets a pass to Guerrier. Guerrier suffocated again. No fouls are called. Jay Huff with it, a pass up the court. Three-pointer for Trey Burke III off the mark at the buzzer. Couldn't get it to fall, but man, this Virginia defense is playing elite basketball right now. Surprised there wasn't a foul down low as Guerrier was just trying to get a shot up, but that's fantastic and suffocating defense. Hauser, 15 points, and he cannot miss from downtown. Virginia takes a big lead into the locker room as both teams head that direction, and Syracuse in need of a response if they want to get back into this ball game in the second half. It's a game of runs, and it really was true to be a game of runs against Virginia Tech on Saturday. Both teams back and forth, but now Virginia has themselves a lead over Syracuse heading into the locker room by way of 9 points. 26-35 is your score, the Orange trail, and we'll take a look at some of the stats right here in the box scores before we let you go for a quick halftime break. Thanks so much for tuning in. And right now for Virginia, leading the way, it has to be Sam Hauser. For the Virginia Cavaliers. He's played sensational from downtown. As I said, 15 points, 5 for 9 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3. He's also got 4 rebounds and an assist. Huff down low, 6 points, and he's also 3 for 4 from the field with 5 rebounds and an assist. Beekman has 2. Murphy III has 11. He's 4 for 8 from the field. He's 3 for 5 from 3. Kihei Clark has 2. And Cafaro has a pair as well. Almost had 3 if he could have hit the free throw on the three-point play. Syracuse on the other side. Quincy Guerrier with 4. He's 2 for 8 from the field and 5 rebounds. Alan Griffin 7. 3 for 8 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. Dolezaj 6. He is 3 for 4 from the field, 2 rebounds and an assist. Alan Griffin has 6 rebounds as well, I might mention. Girard has no points. He's also 0 for 1 from the field, which is 0 for 1 from 3. He does have an assist. Boeheim, 9 points. He's leading the way for Syracuse, 4 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, a rebound and 2 assists. And Kadary Richmond has 1 rebound in a couple minutes of action. That's 26 points for the Orange, shooting 40% from the field for Syracuse, 18.2% from 3. So the Orange simply struggling to score, and this defense is having the better of the Orange offense. Girard, a couple of early shots in the shot clock that you don't necessarily like to see. Just to address the question, you don't like to see him shoot it that early in the shot clock. 5 seconds are off the clock. He's taking a 3 from Blacksburg at this point, up in the mountains of Virginia from way downtown, and he's missing it. And Alan Griffin had a couple of those as well. The defense is there. They're not giving them much. But Syracuse is certainly struggling to score, struggling to play some defense as well, leaving Hauser wide open on many different occasions. Nonetheless, that's breaking it down at halftime. Virginia, a 35-26 lead over Syracuse in Charlottesville on their home floor. Syracuse needs to get things together if they want to knock down the 8th-ranked team in the country. We'll take a quick break here on Orange Heat. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to break down what to expect in the second half and for the second half of action. So, thanks so much for tuning in. It's Syracuse and Virginia at John Paul Jones Arena. The Wahoos going into the locker room with a 35-26 lead over the Syracuse Orange. Welcome back here for the second half of action. We're at John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia. Syracuse, a 9-point hole against the Virginia Cavaliers, ranked 8th in the country, or score 35-26. As we're just underway, 19 and a half to play here in the second half of action, and it's a ball game that's been dominated by Virginia, both offensively and defensively. Syracuse struggling to score from the field, to say the least. The ball goes out of bounds here, and we'll get a quick stoppage at play. Ball's inbounded again, and a start again. Three-pointer from the corner, and that's exactly who I wanted to talk about. Sam Hauser is going off tonight. Another three-pointer for him. 6 for 9 from downtown. He's got 18 points, and exceptional play out of Sam Hauser for the Wahoos. 38-26, now the lead, back up to 12. Buddy Boeheim trying to get a response. A three-pointer from the right wing off the mark, rebounded here by Beekman, and Virginia taking it up the court. The Orange cannot find the lid off the bucket so far, and Virginia's defense has been suffocating, to say the least, with that vaunted trademarked pack line defense that Tony Bennett uses and has become very well known for. Three-pointer here from the top again, and this time it's Jay Huff from downtown getting it to fall. The big man, he's 4 for 5 from the field, has 9 points, and Boeheim already wants a timeout. 41-26 the score, 18-20 left to go in the second half, and Jay Huff and Sam Hauser have put the team on their shoulders so far tonight, not to mention the speed out of Kihei Clark facilitating and dishing the basketball around. Syracuse just struggling to score. I mean, if you take a look at the stat sheet so far, Girard has not scored any points. He's taken a couple of shots but has not hit. Alan Griffin has struggled. Boeheim has struggled a little bit. He's been the kind of saving grace for Syracuse a little bit here. And Guerrier has struggled. So for the Orange right now, they're shooting 16.7% from three-point range, and they're 37.5% from the field. That's 12 for 32 from the field and 2 for 12 from downtown. So the struggles continue to pour in, and on the other side of the ball for Virginia, they are lights out. Sam Hauser, 6 for 11 from the field. That's 6 for 9 from 3. And he has himself 18 points. Huff, 4 for 5 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, and he has himself 9 points. As a team, they're shooting 45.5 from the field, and now 44.4. See a question here, and so Jay Huff down low, huge for Virginia. Listed on their website right now on the roster as 7'1", 240 pounds. And to be quite honest, Syracuse doesn't have somebody that can stay with that. They just don't. Dolezaj is playing the 5 right now. Jesse Edwards not in the ball game. You don't have Sidibe. I mean, as much as you love Dolezaj, he's not 7'1", 240 pounds. Dolezaj currently right now for Syracuse is listed as, let's see, where is he? Dolezaj is listed as 6'10", 201. There's a 40-pound difference, and even more so than the height. 2 inches is a lot, but even more so than the height, that 40 pounds is extreme. Jesse Edwards is 6'11", 215. Now, he doesn't have the skill set to play down low, but you have to have someone to match up against Jay Huff. And if I'm Virginia, I'm just going to feed him the ball the rest of the game. That's what any team that has beat us has been able to do. The rebounding category right now in this ball game has it standing at Syracuse 17 rebounds, Virginia 23. So they win the rebound battle right now by 6. And in the common theory and the common theme this year has been that when Syracuse struggles in the rebound category, they struggle to score, which means they have struggled to win, and that has been their losses. So everything that has hurt Syracuse this year is certainly coming to the forefront today at an even higher extreme when you're playing this pack line defense for Virginia that Tony Bennett is so well known for facilitating and running. That's what Virginia is known for. They're a team that can score. That's not their main function, though. It's defensively, and when they have the teams that can score consistently as well, that's when they win championships, like in 2019. Back to basketball we go at John Paul Jones Arena. The Orange in desperate need of a bucket. They get it there. Dolezaj, feed to the inside. Quincy Guerrier slams it home. No celebration there when you're down by double digits. 41-28 your score here in Charlottesville. 17:56 left to go in the second half of action, and the Orange could really use a stop as well. Virginia has shared the ball so well offensively, finding the open man from three, and they simply have not missed from downtown. They're shooting very, very well. The best they've shot all year. This three-pointer, though, no good from the right wing. Trey Murphy III couldn't hit. Girard the rebound, and here comes Syracuse. Girard pulls up from the right elbow, and he's nothing but net money. So Joe Girard gets his first point of the ball game, and it couldn't have come at a better time if you're Syracuse. Girard averaging 10.8 points a game. Tonight he has 2, but that was a big 2 as it draws this game back to an 11-point contest. 41-30 is your score. Kihei Clark on the inside, dish to the left wing. Beekman gives it up. Kihei Clark back at the top of the key, a drive, and he just can blow by anybody. Sam Hauser, top of the key, three-pointer off the mark. Jay Huff tried to follow it up with a dunk, and he couldn't hit. Alan Griffin a rebound, and Syracuse gets a defensive stop that they needed. Boeheim on the right wing, and the Orange just trying to slow this game down a little bit, play to their tempo, because Virginia does like to speed the ball up offensively, especially when Kihei Clark's running the point. Girard, deep three right wing, left it short. And rebounded now by Jay Huff. Virginia taking it down the court, and Syracuse could have used a bucket there, down 11 with 16.5 to play here in Charlottesville. 41-30 is your score. Kickball violation against Girard as he just tried to stop the momentum a little bit. Boeheim clapping his hands, and the Orange are never out of it. You know that. They can score in bunches. They have all year, but have to find a way to score against this pack line defense right now if you're Syracuse. And you have to find a way from stop this Wahoo squad from scoring. Jay Huff at the top of the key gives it off to the left side. Three-pointer is in. Trey Murphy III is hot as well now for Virginia. He's got 11, 44-30. A 13-point lead once again, or 14-point lead rather, I should say. Girard deep three, and he hits. That's a big one out of Joey G. III, and Syracuse needed it. The Orange are 3 for 14 from the three-point arc so far tonight. Virginia is 10 for 22, and the struggles have been real. Kihei Clark and alley-oop, and Jay Huff goes up and over Marek Dolezaj to slam it home. Girard a deep three early in the shot clock, way short, rebounded Guerrier, and now the Orange slowed things down again. Alan Griffin. It was a heat check for Girard, but he isn't too hot, so I'm not sure what that was for. Alan Griffin, a spin move, tried to put one up, and he's blocked, and the ball's taken away now for Trey Murphy III. Big defense out of Virginia tonight. Kihei Clark facilitating, and he pulls it back out. And he can just have his way against this Syracuse zone right now. He's penetrated to the inside and found the open man. This one tipped away by Guerrier, a pass intended for Kihei Clark, and here's Syracuse. Boeheim thought about a three, now a drive, kicks it back out Girard, top of the key, tightly guarded now by Murphy III. Now Dolezaj into Guerrier. Guerrier gets his shot blocked by Jay Huff, and again, you cannot go over a guy that's 7'1", 240 pounds, a monster down low, and that was the difficulty for every team so far this year, but it's really come to the forefront for a Syracuse team that does not have a true center in the ball game right now, playing at the 5. Sam Hauser gave it up. Kihei Clark a drive on Dolezaj, a floater off the glass, almost hit. That was an acrobatic shot, no good, rebounded by Dolezaj. Here's Boeheim, a three right wing off the rim. Guerrier can't be there for the rebound, and instead it's Trey Murphy. Here's a drive, Kihei Clark. Boeheim's there. Now it's Sam Hauser on the left wing. And it's been fast pace in the last couple of minutes, which is what Virginia wants. Wide open three, Beekman. And of course, he hits. Nothing but net. And this Virginia team can't miss, but Syracuse can't close out. There wasn't a man within 5 or 6 feet anywhere around, and nobody decided to close out. The zone is struggling tonight for Syracuse, and the Orange nearly turned it over there, but it goes out of bounds off the hands of Beekman. 49-33 is your score. And it's getting ugly here if you're a Syracuse fan in Charlottesville, to say the least. Interesting comment here. Again, it's ugly, but need to leave Clark alone and focus on Hauser. The thing is I don't know how you could leave Clark alone because he can score in himself, and he's so fast that Syracuse doesn't have a guy to keep up with him. And it's really reminding me of, it's like deja vu of watching my Bills last night playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. Simply did not have a guy that is fast enough to keep up with Tyreek Hill. Nobody in the NFL has that, right? And he's just incredibly speedy, and he can get separation from anybody. And then it's yards after the catch. And that's kind of what it looks like. Kihei Clark is faster than anybody on the court right now. And his ball handling is fantastic. And the way he facilitates finding Huff on these alley-oops, they've connected for alley-oops 3 or 4 times so far tonight. And there's no defending that. Huff 7'1", 240. He's going to go right up over Dolezaj playing at the 5 down low. So the struggles are real for Syracuse here in Charlottesville, and not the outing the Orange wanted after taking down the 16th ranked Virginia Tech Hokies on Saturday in convincing fashion, to say the least. Your score right now with 13:46 left to go, it's Virginia 49, Syracuse 33. We'll take a quick break right here on Orange Heat. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. 49-33 is your score at John Paul Jones Arena. Welcome back here on Orange Heat. Giovanni Heater with you, your play-by-play commentator for tonight. And Syracuse struggling right now in Charlottesville. But to talk about the Cavaliers, they are playing fantastic basketball. And this is exactly what Tony Bennett wanted to game plan for this game. Keep Syracuse from getting to the inside. Make them shoot the 3. They've struggled. I mean, you have the excuse that Buddy Boeheim and Joe Girard are still possibly recovering from their COVID-19 symptoms, right? So obviously they're asymptomatic at this point. They've tested negative since, but some of that stuff lingers with you. I've read. So whether it be difficulty just getting up and down the court, breathing, whether that be just fatigue, whatever it is, I mean, that could certainly play a factor. And besides it all, they missed weeks of practice. So them struggling to shoot is not necessarily to be that much of a surprise. And Virginia is not letting Syracuse get to the inside. Therefore, the Orange trail right now to the Cavaliers 49-33. And Virginia is not ranked 8th in the country for no reason. The Orange now to inbound. It's Boeheim over to Dolezaj, a drive. Gives it up to now Robert Braswell in the game. The Orange possibly just looking for a spark here. Alan Griffin, a deep step back 2, and he hits. That's a tough shot, and Alan Griffin, the Illinois transfer, looked confident doing it. 49-35 now your score. Again, it was a deep 2. 13 and a half minutes to play here in the second half of action, and the Orange need some stops defensively if they want anything to happen. Sam Hauser on the inside. Kihei Clark still in the game for Virginia. Gets right past Dolezaj. A no-look pass to the right wing, and this three-pointer is no good. Rebounded Robert Braswell. Unable to hit was Trey Murphy III, but a fancy pass out of Kihei Clark. Now it's Boeheim on the right wing. Gives it up Dolezaj. Braswell lets a 3 fly from the left corner, and he hits. Robert Braswell checks into the ball game and makes this thing an 11-point matchup. 49-38 the score, 12:42 left to go in action, and Syracuse has stopped Virginia a couple consecutive times and hit some big buckets. So if the Orange can continue a little bit of a run here, they might find themselves clawing back into the game. This Virginia team is so speedy. Kihei Clark, a drive to the inside, kicks it out. Beekman a drive now, able to get away, and a foul called against Braswell. He hit Beekman in the back from behind as he was going up for a jump shot, and you just cannot have that out of Bobby B. And instead it sends Beekman to the free throw line right now. Reese Beekman, a freshman guard, 6'3", 174, out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. One of the only guys that's either not from around the Virginia area or from overseas. him and Kihei Clark. Kihei Clark from Woodland Hills, California. And, of course, Reese Beekman out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Missed the first one, second one to follow here. 12:21 left to go in the ball game, and Virginia leads it after the free throw, 50-38. So the second free throw is good. And those are the first free throws made in tonight's game. Syracuse missed one on a three-point play opportunity. Virginia hasn't been to the line, and with 12:14 left to go in the second half, that's remarkable. The Orange looking for a spark here. 50-38 your score. Braswell, another three, right wing, off the rim, no good. And the bench would have exploded if he would have hit that. Sam Hauser a rebound. Kihei Clark on the left wing now for the Wahoos. Checking into the game for Virginia is Thomas Waldetense, and this one's up and no good, but it looks like Jay Huff is going to head to the free throw line for the Cavaliers. As Jim Boeheim wants a quick timeout. 50-38, the score at John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, and it's all UVA on Tony Bennett's court so far tonight, both offensively and defensively, simply dominating the game. The Orange were out of it a couple minutes in, and the Wahoos haven't looked back. So Tony Bennett really, his game plan defensively was what it always is. Use that pack line defense. Don't let Syracuse get to the inside, and they have not been able to do so. The Orange haven't hit their shots. Virginia has. Sam Hauser has been elite from downtown. Kihei Clark hit one. Jay Huff hit one. And this team's simply shooting well. That's why they have such a lead. And when they do get penetration, I don't think Syracuse expects it. And that's why the scoreboard reads 50-38. Free throws for Jay Huff when we return. We'll take a quick 30-second break right here on Orange Heat. Don't go anywhere. It's the Orange and the Cavaliers going at it right here on Orange Heat. Go ahead and head over to accessoryspot.com. That's accessoryspot.com and pick up your very own Orange Heat with Giovanni Heater t-shirt. Again, that's accessoryspot.com, accessoryspot.com. Here's what they look like. And again, everything helps because it allows us to create better broadcasts, do more things, bigger broadcasts, and everything like that. So, again, head over to accessoryspot.com and represent Orange Heat with Giovanni Heater. Again, I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. Syracuse and Virginia going at it in Charlottesville, and it's a big matchup for the Orange, coming off the heels of a victory on Saturday against Virginia Tech, who were ranked 16th in the country at that time. Beat them by 18 to be exact, led by 23. And now against Virginia, here they are, struggling. 50-38 is your score. And the game's really not getting any earlier, right? The clock continues to wind, and the overall outcome seems to be more apparent for Syracuse that they can't get some defensive stops and get something going offensively. Braswell offered a little bit of a spark off the bench, hit a three from the corner. Syracuse needed it. Boeheim and Girard have been cold. Griffin's been about 50-50. Dolezaj and Guerrier haven't really had a chance to dominate down low because of that pack line defense just forcing them out, pushing them out. Love to see Guerrier get going, and Syracuse is going to need to look upon their most consistent player at this point in the season, which is Quincy Guerrier, to try and bring him back into this game, both rebounding, both defensively, and, of course, to score some buckets on the offensive end. But you got to credit the Wahoos. Tony Bennett, his defense has been Syracuse's Achilles heel since joining the ACC. The Orange have always really had trouble against both North Carolina and Virginia, and that's come to the surface for sure here tonight. Jay Huff at the free throw line. His first one is good. So now this game's 51-38, 11:55 on the clock here in the second half, and the fate of the Orange continues to reveal itself. Jay Huff, second free throw is nothing but net. Braswell the inbound. Kadari Richmond the ball game. See if he can offer a spark for Syracuse. 52-38. 11:49 to go in the second half. Syracuse looking for something to bring them back into this game. Dolezaj a drive on the big man Huff. Quickly pulls it back away up to Boeheim right wing. Tightly guarded here. Behind his back, lets one go, and Jay Huff just sends it away. What a block that time for the redshirt senior, and a dunk on the other end by Casey Morsell, the sophomore guard out of Fort Washington, Maryland. And I don't want to say that's the dagger, but Virginia's looking awfully good with a 54-38 advantage. 11:16 to play in the second half. And Syracuse, another big block on the inside, Jay Huff. Dolezaj is able to get in front of the pass and take it back for Syracuse. 3 for Robert Braswell off the back rim, and now Kihei Clark a rebound. Huff with back-to-back blocks, and again, that pack line defense. Syracuse cannot penetrate the basketball, and Jay Huff 7'1", 240. He'll go up over anybody that Syracuse has. Another foul on the inside. It goes against Syracuse and against Dolezaj. Huff was the man to soak it, and looking at these replays, I mean, the way this guy gets up and down the court and just gets in front of these Orange offensive-minded players, really. I mean, this is a team that can score all year, have been held in check to 38, and that's what Virginia does. They've done it to Syracuse year in and year out. Huff on the inside. Dolezaj's there. Huff going to drive. Kicks it out to the left wing. A drive and jumper is good. Another bucket that time out of Casey Morsell, the sophomore guard, and Virginia really far ahead of the Orange at this point. He's got 4 points, and both buckets, I should say, have been in the last minute. Girard, a feed to the inside, Guerrier. Guerrier trying to go up against Hauser, and he does, and he draws a foul and one for Quincy Guerrier. And the Orange needed that, hoping it's not too little too late. Plenty of basketball left to be played with 10:18 left on the clock, but Guerrier just muscling his way in. The one time he's able to get off the ball from Jay Huff. I mean, he has that size advantage over Hauser and took advantage of it, to say the least. Guerrier at the free throw line, and his free throw rattled around, almost missed, but does just drop in. So 56-41 is the lead for the Wahoos. 10:14 left to go here in Charlottesville. Guerrier's got 9 points and 7 rebounds, on his way to a possible double-double again. Kihei Clark, a pump fake, feed to the right wing, and a three-pointer for Sam Hauser is money. Hauser, 21 points, 7 for 11 from three-point land. Girard, a quick three, and he hits. Joey G, that's the kind of shot we yell at him about when he hits so early in the shot clock, but downtown has been the plague tonight for Syracuse. Not that time for Joe Girard III, sophomore guard out of Glens Falls, New York. And Boeheim calls a timeout. 59-44 is the score. Virginia leading it by 15 points. 9:51 left on the clock. Tony Bennett assessing his team, and the Orange have never really been in this ball game up to this point. And Virginia has been that Achilles heel of Syracuse year in and year out. There's two teams. I mean, I'll say it all day, and I say it all the time. It's North Carolina and it's Virginia. And what's happened this year? The Orange lost to North Carolina, and the Orange are struggling against a very good Virginia team, might I add. But besides that one win in the Elite Eight a few years back, and last year in overtime, Virginia has dominated the series against Syracuse. And North Carolina has done the same. The Orange picked up their first win in 9 matchups against North Carolina last year in the ACC tournament. So the Orange go to a press here, full court, and they're able to get a steal. Kaderi Richmond's there, trying to put a floater up, no good. Off the backboard, Alan Griffin couldn't follow, and instead Virginia has it back. A wasted opportunity for Syracuse. Got the takeaway they needed. Here's another one. Alan Griffin takes it away. Up the court to Girard, too far past him. And Boeheim yelling at his team, settle down. Once you get the steal, settle down a little bit. Tony Bennett talking. Luckily, this was last touched, it looks like, by Syracuse, actually. Just too far ahead of Girard, and sloppy play out of the Orange on offense on both takeaways, and those are missed opportunities. So now Virginia to inbound. This time they get it all the way up the court, no problem, and they'll start to slow things down again. Kihei Clark has to be one of the best point guards in the nation. He's just sensational. His speedy quickness has been what has driven this Virginia team. Huff, a fadeaway two from past the ACC logo, no good. Rebounded this time by Dolezaj up to Girard. Girard a spin move, trying to drive on the right wing. Tried to get it to Boeheim and out of his reach, out of bounds. So a turnover again for Syracuse. That's 2 in a row. They're getting stops defensively. They're getting takeaways, but they're giving the ball right back to Virginia. Kadary Richmond checking into the game for Joe Girard. Boeheim pulls out Joey G, probably telling him to settle down. And with 9:02 left on the clock, the Orange still trail 15. 59-44 is your score. Reaching up for that one's Boeheim. Another takeaway for the Orange. Alan Griffin to drive, swatted off the backboard by Jay Huff, but a foul is finally called. And Alan Griffin will shoot 2 from the free throw line. But with that guy out there, no shot is safe inside the paint. Jay Huff has been dominant right now for Virginia down low. And Boeheim still talking to the young sophomore Girard. First free throw is up and good for Alan Griffin. So that makes this a 59-45 ball game. Second one is good. So the Orange now trailing by 13. 8:57 left to go on the clock. The Virginia Cavaliers 3 turnovers in the last 54 seconds. If Syracuse can get another one, that'd be sensational. And unable to inbound here, Tony Bennett's going to expel a timeout. So both teams will head to the sidelines and talk things over a little bit on their respective benches. And Boeheim's press has proven to be very good right now for Syracuse. And if they could have only taken advantage of those opportunities off the turnovers, we could have a different ball game right now. Missed a couple of shots, turned the ball over themselves a couple of times, forcing 3 turnovers on Virginia within a minute. And the ACC is wide open right now. Besides Virginia Tech in the mix, Clemson, Florida State. How about Duke? 5-5 record. This is their worst 10-game start since 1982 for the Duke Blue Devils. And as Syracuse fans, we love that. We love that a lot. Florida State has won 4 games in a row, and they returned from a COVID hiatus. And you can't count out the Pitt Panthers. Justin Champagnie leading that squad. They dominated Syracuse a couple of weeks ago on the road at the Oakland Zoo. It looks like we'll get a foul on the floor against Kadary Richmond. 8:55 play in the game. Virginia will have 28 on the shot clock. 59-46 is your score. And the Cavaliers are at the top of the ACC, ranked 8th in the country, and it's no shock that they have played great basketball tonight against Syracuse. They're pressing up against Kihei Clark along the sideline, and it looks like it's another foul against Kadary Richmond. That's his 2nd in a row. Virginia to inbound here, and they're on their own end of the court. Sam Hauser with the ball on the left wing. Coming back to it is Jay Huff. Instead, he gives it to the left side. So with it for Virginia is Trey Murphy. Back to Kihei Clark. Clark over to the right side and Beekman. Pass to the inside, taken away by Guerrier. Intended for Jay Huff. Here comes Syracuse if they can capitalize. That's a 4th turnover in the last couple of minutes for Virginia. And this Syracuse defense suddenly playing good as they nearly give it away. This pass is off the shoulder of Jay Huff from Alan Griffin, intended for a cutting Guerrier. And Syracuse will keep it for the moment. 19 on the shot clock. 8:20 to go in the ball game. 59-46 the score. The Orange trail by 13 points to the 8th-ranked Virginia Cavaliers. Kadary Richmond running the point. Over to Boeheim. Coming to the ball is Alan Griffin. Griffin a drive. Huff's right there, and it looks like we'll get a foul down low. Boeheim yelling at the referee, and it will be Syracuse's ball. Now 7 seconds to go on the shot clock. So the Orange need a bucket quick. Down 13. 8:08 to play. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Inbounded here to Dolezaj. Dolezaj got to find an open man. Gets it up to Guerrier. Guerrier lets one fly from downtown. Nearly hit. Sam Hauser a hand in his face. That was a high arcing 3 off the front rim. No good. Kihei Clark almost coughed it up. Instead, it's a lob from Hauser to Huff. And a slam. 61-46. Jay Huff's got himself 15 points and 9 rebounds. Almost a double-double. Dolezaj a drive in on Huff. Goes up and over. He'll soak a foul, so Dolezaj will take a trip to the charity stripe. He'll shoot 2. But man, Jay Huff Down low, Sam Hauser found him on the alley-oop, and they've done that time in, time again so far tonight. 7:40 left to go. 71-46 is the lead. 61-46, rather, for Virginia, and that means we'll take a quick 30-second break here on Orange Heat. You're watching the Orange, and the Cavaliers do battle. It's an ACC matchup on Orange Heat. Welcome back here on Orange Heat. Giovanni Heater with you, your play-by-play commentator, as always. Misspeaking left and right tonight. Didn't do the proper warm-ups that I usually do. Believe it or not, that's actually a little bit of a thing. Syracuse and Virginia. Virginia's dominated this basketball game. I mean, if you've been listening the whole way, you know that, right? But it's really been a defensive effort. Now, Syracuse has been able to force some turnovers here, 4 of them to be exact in the last 3 minutes or so against Virginia, 3 of them spanning in a matter of a minute. And they just have not been able to capitalize on those opportunities. Huff has been dominant down low, and he has taken over the ball game. Offensively, defensively, he is a sensational center. He's massive, 7'1", 240, and Syracuse doesn't have a guy to match up against that. I don't know if anyone in the country does when you're at 7'1", but Syracuse, without playing a true center, certainly doesn't have anything to keep up with that at this point. So Virginia leads it by a large margin right now to Syracuse, and the Orange just trying to do anything that they can to get themselves much into this game. Still at a TV timeout right now on ESPN, and the Orange, with their first Blockbuster Monday game, or Big Monday they call it, I believe. Blockbuster events are on Tuesday for college basketball, but their first Big Monday of the year, possibly their only, and they have not shown up to be. The task just seemed a little bit too tall so far today for Syracuse, and I mean that both literally and figuratively when you have a guy that's 7'1" down low against the Orange and they're struggling to do anything against him. So Syracuse and Virginia closing things out here. The Orange most likely to stay in the press. It served them well. They just weren't able to score offensively. They were, again, 4 total takeaways for Syracuse and a couple of defensive stops. But once a team starts to figure it out, you see an alley-oop like Hauser hitting Huff, and that happened as well. Dolezaj at the free throw line after a foul from Jay Huff. Dolezaj's first one is good, so your score 61-47. The Orange now trailing by 14, 7:40 to go in the ball game, and Syracuse again not out of it. Dolezaj, second free throw is good, 61-48 your score, 7:40 to go on the clock. Ball's inbounded Kihei Clark. Syracuse still in the press. Dolezaj almost fouled, and on the other end of the court, wide open, there's the big man, Jay Huff, slamming it home. 63-48 is the score, 7.5 to play, and Virginia has figured out this press, to say the least. Boeheim a drive, trying to get a spin move over to Dolezaj. Deep 2 for Dolezaj. Rattled around, no good. Guerrier tried to pull down the rebound, and instead, there for Virginia was Trey Murphy III. Here come the Wahoos up the court. Reese Beekman with it, now up to Sam Hauser, top of the key, into Jay Huff, gives it up to Kihei Clark. Back to Murphy. Kihei Clark, a baseline drive, off to Hauser. He can't hit, but Jay Huff's right there for the putback. Huff has taken over this ball game at John Paul Jones Arena. 19 points, 10 rebounds, a fantastic double-double, and Syracuse doesn't have a guy that can play against that. Plain and simple. 65-48 is the lead for the Wahoos, and pass to the inside, Guerrier. Huff tried to send it away, but Guerrier does get the difficult 2 to fall. Guerrier's got 11 points. He's 5 for 13 from the field. Dolezaj also having a decent game for Syracuse. Here's Hauser, and Syracuse still in a press, but Virginia got it up the court no problem. As you have to leave a guy back, they do so in Dolezaj just to not allow that full court pass up to the big man down low. Reese Beekman on the right side. Now a pass to a cutting Beekman. Hauser with it at the top, and he gets fouled off of a closing out Alan Griffin. So just a little bit of a hip check here. 6 minutes to go. Virginia will inbound. No bonuses yet. 65-50 is your score. The Orange trail by 15 at the hands of Tony Bennett. Kihei Clark running the point again for Virginia. Played pretty much the entire game so far. Clark a drive. Kicks it out. Hauser top of the key three. This one's knocked away by Kaderi Richmond. What a reach by the freshman. Three-pointer from the right side. Still no good. Murphy couldn't hit. Richmond a pass up to Guerrier. Guerrier thought about a deep three. Able to get it up to Boeheim top of the key. Dolezaj a screen. Back to Dolezaj top of the key. Pass to the inside Alan Griffin, who's got an advantage over Kihei Clark. Fed it to Guerrier. Tried to dunk it home, but he's fouled, so couldn't get the dunk to fall. No and one here in Charlottesville for Guerrier, but he will shoot 2 from the free throw line. 5:28 left on the clock, and 65-50 is the score. Virginia leads it big. Guerrier's free throw first is good. 65-51 now, 5:28, and the Orange need to make defensive stops as well as score. I mean, it's pretty much been a 15-point ball game the entire way. Second free throw is good, down to a 13-point game. 65-52, 5:28 left in the matchup. Inbounded to Kihei Clark. The Orange still in a press. Richmond's there middle of the court, but they're able to get it up. A drive here off the mark. That's what Syracuse needed to miss. Reese Beekman couldn't hit the layup. Here's Alan Griffin, other end of the court, and he's fouled. Couldn't get the and one, but he'll take a trip to the free throw line. And the foul against the guilty man, Trey Murphy III, junior guard, out of Durham, North Carolina. That's exactly where Duke is. Alan Griffin now will shoot 2 from the free throw line, the opportunity to make it an 11-point ball game. First one's good. 5:16 on the clock. You got to think if you're within 11, maybe Syracuse can get something going if they keep getting stopped. Second one's good. So an 11-point ball game now at John Paul Jones Arena. 65-54, Virginia leads it. Ball's inbounded here. Syracuse still in that press. Beekman has it on the right wing. They're able to get it up the court. Beekman wide open. Doesn't elect to shoot it. Kihei Clark now left side. Syracuse doesn't watch the baseline, an alley-oop feed, and I saw it the whole way. Trey Murphy III dunks it home off the assist from Kihei Clark, an alley-oop lob, and he was wide open along the baseline the entire time. Syracuse didn't watch him. Alan Griffin, deep step back 3. No good. Syracuse trying to pull down the rebound, and it does go off the hands of Hauser out of bounds. So the Orange will keep the possession. 67-54 is the lead for Virginia. The Orange haven't really been in this game the entire way. Kaderi to inbound into Boeheim. Boeheim lets one fly fading away. Off the mark. Instead, rebounded now by Trey Murphy III. Virginia, with 4.5 to go, can sense it. Dolezaj tried to reach out to grab the ball away on a pass. Instead, on it, he accidentally fouls Reese Beekman. And that means Virginia is now in the bonus. 67-54 is your score. 4.5 to play. Beekman now to shoot 2. First free throw's up and good for Beekman. 68-54 now, 4.5. As Alan Griffin is on the bench talking with coach. Beekman's second one is good. 69-54 is the score. 4.5 to play. Beekman's got 8 points and 5 rebounds as well as 4 assists. Really been a force tonight for Virginia quietly. Now Guerrier lets a deep 2 fly. Highly contested from the free throw line off the mark. And it's getting out of hand here. Guerrier able to swat it away from Kihei Clark and dunk it home. And it like they called a foul for a second. They did not. So Guerrier dunks it home. Now your score is 69-56. So you're within 13 again. Under 4 minutes to play here in Charlottesville. Kihei Clark a drive. A jump step. Gets it out to Sam Hauser. Clark comes back to get it at the top of the key. Back to Hauser left side. Now a cutting Beekman, kick out, Murphy the third, deep three, and he hits. This team's unconscious from downtown when they want to. 16 points for Trey Murphy the third. Boeheim gets it poked away, and out of bounds it goes. They'll say last touched by Boeheim. Fantastic hustle that time out of Reese Beekman, the freshman. And now we're heading the other way. Jay Huff, 19 points. He's 8 of 11 from the field with 11 rebounds. Absolutely took the game over for a stretch, and he's been sensational tonight. Syracuse just does not have a guy that can play against that. So let's take a quick TV timeout at John Paul Jones Arena. We'll do the same here on Orange Heat. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's the Orange and the Cavaliers, Syracuse, down big late at John Paul Jones Arena. Welcome back here on Orange Heat. Syracuse doing battle with the Cavaliers in Charlottesville. The 8th-ranked Cavaliers, the Virginia Cavaliers, I might add, and the Orange struggling to score and struggling to get stops defensively. Not a good recipe to win a basketball game. Down big to Virginia on the road, and this is after a 20-point victory against the Virginia Tech Hokies on Saturday inside the Dome. So what a turnaround for the Syracuse Orange, to say the least. I made the joke earlier today that if Syracuse beat both Virginia squads back to back, then Syracuse should get the Commonwealth Cup for a week. That does not look like it will be the case here. For those that don't know, Virginia and Virginia Tech play each other for the Commonwealth Cup each year. It's actually a football thing, but they still say that for basketball and all the other sports because it's a huge in-state rivalry. Tech and UVA. And I know a lot about Virginia Tech lately because they are a very possible destination for me next fall, as well as my typical broadcast partner, Mr. Marshak. He's not with us tonight. We miss him big time. So if you're listening at work, buddy, keep working hard and we'll see you for the next one for sure. I'm sure he's a little bit glad he's missing this game, to be quite honest, because his favorite team in the world, as well as mine, is struggling, to say the least. And it's just mind-boggling how inconsistent sometimes when you were able to dominate your ranked team on Saturday in the Dome, and then you come and struggle like this against another ranked team. It boggles your mind. But Virginia's a very, very good squad, and I would say the way they're playing tonight, they're better than Virginia Tech. So that's just, that I think it's fair to say. Syracuse somehow was able to keep Virginia Tech's big man in check. I think Jay Huff's the best big man. I think in second is Keve Aluma from Virginia Tech, and Syracuse made him a non-factor, got him in foul trouble early and kind of got in his own head a little bit and only finished the day with 2 points. And very surprising because he's been dominant in the ACC so far this season for the Hokies. 72-56 your score, 3:33 left to go in the ball game, and it's looking more and more apparent that Virginia might come away with a win here. 72-56 again. Free throw is up and good for Reese Beckman. He has one more. Virginia in the bonus. Beckman's got 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. This one would make it 10 points as his free throw is good. 74-56 now the lead for the Cavaliers. Almost lead it by 20 at this point. 18-point advantage over Syracuse, the largest lead of the night. Dolezaj top of the key. Guerrier sets a screen. Dolezaj looking for someone to get the ball to. Finally able to get free is Girard. Kihei Clark tightly guarding here. Kihei Clark picks his pocket. A steal and a transition bucket for the Wahoos. This defense is suffocating, and you cannot take a breath if you're Syracuse. Clark, 4 points and 9 assists, but those 9 assists have been some big ones. Dolezaj at the top running the offense right now for Syracuse. Comes to set a screen on Girard. Girard almost coughs it up. Guerrier's there to pick it back. Up over Hauser and Huff, unable to get it to go. Rebound Hauser. And Syracuse comes away empty-handed once again. 2:41 left to go in the ball game. It's a 20-point lead for Virginia. This would be 2 games in a row that Syracuse would lose, or 2 games in the last 3 that Syracuse would lose by 20 points if it stayed this way. 2.5 to play. Hauser at the top. Kihei Clark in the middle. Kick back to Hauser. Hauser a 3. Kadary Richmond reaches out for a block. He's so good at doing that, but too little, too late if you're Syracuse. Feed. Braswell. Left corner 3. Off the rim and no good. And rebounded this time. The board by the big man Huff. 20-point game. 2 minutes left to go. Virginia working with 18 on the shot clock. 76-56 is the score. The Wahoo is well in front of the Orange. Kihei Clark gives it up left side. Back to Clark, top of the key. Into Huff. Huff trying to drive on Dolezaj. Does so and draws a foul. So Dolezaj commits another foul against Jay Huff. Huff will shoot 2 from the free throw line. And the big man is just having himself a phenomenal ball game. 1:43 on the clock, 2 free throws away. Huff's already got 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks. These are incredible stats. Huff's free throw is good, so that's 20 points now for the big man. That's a 20-point double-double. Doesn't get any better than that. Couple of new faces checking. Well, not new faces, but faces checking into the game for Virginia. Casey Morsell will check in. And now coming in is Thomas Walden-Tensei again. Huff's second free throw is good. He's got 21 now, 12 rebounds as well, and a couple of assists. 78-56, Virginia leads it by 22. Huff will take a seat for the final time tonight, and he's got himself a career-high 21 points, as I had mentioned. 1:43 in the game. 78-56 is the score, and it's been all Virginia here in Charlottesville tonight. Syracuse has not had a response the entire way. Richmond running the point. Gerard's been out for a bit, but now he's back in. Gerard pump fake. Let a 3 fly. Goes Joey G off the mark. Rebounded here for Virginia by Casey Morsell, and they'll bleed some more clock, about 30 seconds to be exact. Walden-Tensei at the top. Gives it up to Morsell. Again, some new faces in the ballgame because now you have Jabari Abdur-Rahim in the game as well, a freshman guard, 6'7", 214. There's no way that guy's 6'7". They have their listings crazy on this website for Virginia, but a 3-pointer here for Casey Morsell from the right wing hits, and it's a blowout. 5 for 24 is Syracuse from 3 tonight. Virginia, 14 for 30, hitting almost 50%, 81-56. The Orange turn it over in under a minute to go. If you're a Syracuse fan, you're just letting that clock run out. They got a guard listed at 6'7", a guard listed as 6'9", and Trey Murphy. I mean, there's no way. I don't know what the Virginia website's trying to feed the NBA, trying to get some scouting on these guys, but Richmond's literally taller than these guys, and he's 6'5", so there's just no way. Virginia just moving the ball here, trying to kill the last seconds here. 6 seconds on the shot clock. 3-pointer from the right wing is no good for Jabari Abdur-Rahim, and Syracuse has it. Shot clock is dead. They will just run the rest of this game out. Braswell possessing it for the Orange. Your score, 81-56. It'll likely be the final. Kadary Richmond will make one final push at it. Lets a 2 fly, and he actually gets it to go. That's a big shot for the freshman, but it will not matter. And the clock expires here in Charlottesville at John Paul Jones Arena. 81-58 the final, and a dominant performance by the Virginia Cavaliers tonight, ranked 8th in the country. They'll likely move ahead as well. Syracuse will drop in both the KenPom and the net rankings. Big game out of many contributors for the Cavaliers, and the biggest game out of Jay Huff, the man down low. And that was the fear going into the game. Syracuse might not have a guy that can play against that. 7'1", 240 pounds. It's a mismatch all day against the Syracuse offense. We'll take 30 seconds. We'll take a look at the box score, and we'll let you go for the night. Syracuse falls big on the road. The Virginia Cavaliers will have the post-game coverage in just 30 seconds. Welcome back here on Orange Heat. This is the post-game coverage between the Orange and the 8th-ranked Cavaliers on the road, and the final score 81-58 in favor of the UVA Cavaliers. And the Wahoos had a big game tonight. We'll take a look at the box score, but here's the biggest disappointment. It looked like at the end of the game, and I get it, it's hard not to give up, but Syracuse gave up in this ball game. And I don't know if I've ever seen a team give up like that. That's not a good characteristic trait. They did not fight till the end of this game. And it's disappointing to see if you're a Syracuse fan. And that's a character question for this team at this point in the year, for sure, I would argue. But we'll take a look at the box score. Again, 81-58, your final score at John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville. Syracuse, Guerrier led the way with 15 points. He had 7 rebounds as well. He went 6 for 16 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Alan Griffin came in second with 13 points tallied, 4 for 11 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. Dolezaj had 8 with 3 for 6 from the field. Alan Griffin also had 8 rebounds and 2 assists. Dolezaj had 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Gerard had 8 points, went 2 for 6 from 3, 3 for 7 from the field, had a rebound and 2 assists. And Boeheim, 9 points, 4 for 12 from the field, 1 for 7 from 3, a rebound and 2 assists. Kadary Richmond had 2 points, and Braswell had 3. So overall, Syracuse went 22 for 59 from the field. That's an abysmal 37.3%, and it gets worse. 5 for 24 from beyond the arc. That's 20.8% from downtown for Syracuse. You can't win basketball games like that. On the other side, Virginia had a dominant performance. Sam Hauser, 21 points, 7 for 16 from the field, 7 for 13 from 3, 7 rebounds and 3 assists. Jay Huff, 21 points, 8 of 11 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, and he had 12 rebounds and 2 assists. Beekman had 10 points. Murphy III had 16. Kihei Clark had 4, as well as 9 assists. And Cafaro had 2, and Morcell off the bench had 7. They went 49.2 from the field and shot 45% from beyond the arc. That's a recipe to win a basketball game. Virginia, a team that doesn't score a lot, drops 81 on Syracuse and keeps Syracuse within 60. That's the story between Syracuse and Virginia since joining the Atlantic Coast Conference. Your final from John Paul Jones Arena, 81-58. Virginia, 8th ranked over Syracuse. So that does it here for the broadcast on Orange Heat. Again, head over to accessoryspot.com. That's XESSORYSPOT.com. Pick up your very own Orange Heat with Giovanni Heater t-shirt. Again, the support helps, to say the least. And we'll have more coverage for you. Tune in for Sports Talk Live tomorrow. We'll be breaking down everything that happened over the weekend in the National Football League and more. And then next up for Syracuse, they will take on the NC State Wolfpack on Sunday. So a bit of a break here for the Orange. They'll play again Sunday, January 31st, this upcoming Sunday at 6 o'clock. We'll be right here on the call. So we'll see you all week from 6 to 7 p.m. for Sports Talk Live. I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks so much for tuning in, as always. So I'm Giovanni Heater from John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia, where the game took place, and from the Orange Heat Studios right here. We'll see you next time. 81-58, your final.